Hey everybody, welcome to the live Q&A. It's great to see you here. If you're new here, welcome. If you're watching this on the replay, thanks so much for taking the time to watch. Once we finish the live, I will add chapter settings to the video so that if you want to go back and review any questions, you'll be able to get right to the question right away. And if you have questions while we're here, add them to the comments section and I'll answer them at the end of the Q&A, or I'll add it to the next one. So for the summer, I'm going to hold off doing any live Q&As. I'm going to continue to do the blog and the videos, but I'm just going to take some time off from the Q&A. And hopefully when September rolls around, Apple's going to have a bunch of new things going on, and we'll start back up with the Q&As. Pat, you're from Pittsburgh. Wow, nice. So am I. That's great. Welcome. Hi, Sharon. So I have 12 questions today. It shouldn't take more than about a half hour at most, and I'm going to hope that I don't have any technical difficulties. When it's a one-man show, it's sometimes those things happen, but if you see something, let me know, okay? So let me go ahead and let's go ahead and start up with the first question. When I open Safari on my iPad, 2 tabs appear. How do I remove them? So if I open Safari, in the upper left-hand corner here, you're going to see a Google symbol, my website symbol, and the YouTube symbol. Those are tabs. And I'm guessing that the person accidentally somehow set this up and weren't sure how they did it. So let me show you. If I push and hold on any of these tabs, I'm going to get an option to unpin them. So this is called a pinned tab. So I can unpin this tab and you'll see that it goes right back to a regular tab, and when I close the page, it will go away. If I pin a tab, it'll stay there. So what's great about this is if you have websites that you visit a lot, you can go ahead and pin as many tabs as you want, and every time you close the browser, Safari, when you reopen, those tabs will be here. So to pin the Google tab, if I just push and hold on the tab and I tap Pin tab, now you see that the Google has been added as a tab. So if I close this, if I swipe out of it and I close it and I come back in, those tabs remain. So again, this is a great way for you to save tabs or save URLs that you visit frequently. You can just pin a tab and it'll be saved the next time you open your Safari browser. Question number 2. How can I delete recent calls on the Apple Watch? So let me come over to my iPhone where you can see my Apple Watch, and let me unlock it. So now you should be able to see my Apple Watch, and if I push on the digital crown one time, it brings me into the settings area or the apps area, and I can tap on phone. And if I am in the main section, you're going to see favorites, recents, and contacts. If I tap on recents, you're going to see a list of my recent calls. And I can tap any of those and call the person from my watch, but I can't delete them. So your recents basically are just a mirror of your iPhone. So to delete your recents, you're going to want to come in to your phone app, make sure that you're listed on recents, and then swipe to the left. And then you can delete your recent calls if you want to. You can also tap on edit and delete them that way. But that's the only way that you can delete your recents. You can't delete them from the Apple Watch. Question number 3, how can I rename my iPhone or iPad? So let's go ahead and I'm going to come over to my iPhone and let me remove the watch. So what you want to do, let me check that again real quick. So to rename, what you're going to do is you're going to tap on the Settings app, and I am just going to put a privacy filter up for a second. You're going to tap on the Settings app. You're going to tap on General, and then tap on About at the top of the page. And here is where you would rename your iPhone. And it's the same way on the iPad. You just tap on Settings, General, and About. And once you do, you can see that I renamed my iPhone Ellen's iPhone Pro 14. Here's the thing though. So I can tap into there and I can change it to whatever I want it to be. But when Apple does an update for the phone, sometimes that name gets erased. And so the default name is just iPhone, or it might be iPhone Pro depending on your model, but I think it's just iPhone. So when they do a big update, it'll delete that out and put the default back in. So you just have to be aware of that. And the reason people want their iPhones to have a name is because maybe a husband and a wife have the same model of phone, and this is one way that they can check to be sure they have the right phone, is that it's named appropriately for them. So that's how to name your iPhone. Question number 4, is there a way to reduce background noise on a phone call? Yes. And it's a cool little trick. I'm going to give you an overhead shot of my phone, and I'm going to come in and I am going to dial my home number. And once I dial it, if I swipe down from the upper right corner to come into the control center, you see this little option up here that says mic mode. If I tap on that, you get the option for voice isolation. The default is standard, but if you want to, get rid of some of that background noise so that the person doesn't hear the background, change that, but you have to be on a call to do it. Go ahead and change it to voice isolation. Tap anywhere outside the screen, tap outside, and now you're right back into the phone call. And I'll just go ahead and tap end. So, and it'll stick around for a little while. I can swipe down and that's still there. But after a little bit of time, that will go away. So if it's set on standard and you change it, but you want to go back to standard, just make sure you're doing it during a phone call. Question number 5. I did a restore from iCloud to a previous date that's backed up. Do my videos, photos from that date show up when I do the backup? So if I have this correct, the person is, whoops, sorry about that. If I have this correct, the person is looking to restore their device from a previous backup. And when you do that, Apple gives you several backups to choose from. And so if I choose a backup from 3 days ago, anything new that was on my phone after that will not be restored to my phone. So if there are pictures that you've taken, if you receive text messages, they will not be restored. And really, the only reason to restore from a previous backup is if something is wrong with your phone. So maybe you're having some issues with the phone and you think that a previous backup might restore your phone to the correct settings. And that's why you would want to do that. So you just have to be careful and know that if I restore from 3 days ago, anything from that day forward is not going to be in the backup. So, but you can use a restored backup if you're having any issues with your phone. Question number 6. How can I remove several apps from my home screen without having to do them one at a time? So let's come back over to this overhead shot again. So as you can see, I have 5 apps that you can see on my home screen. And let's just say I want to move those apps back into the app library. I just don't want to see them, but I don't want to delete them. If I push and hold on an app until it jiggles, so give it a chance to jiggle, pull it down, and then you can tap on the other apps while you're holding that one app in place. And you can see now that I have 5 apps underneath my finger. If I drag them over to the app library and I let go, they will all be placed back into the categories that Apple had set for them. And when you're finished, you would just tap on Done. So it's just a matter of pushing and holding on an app and continue to hold on it, and then tap on each of the apps that you want to remove, drag them to the app library, and let go. Question number 7. Why and what is this popping up now in the bottom of Mail using latest iPadOS 16.5? So if I open up Mail, you'll see all these windows open across the bottom. And if you're not familiar with what this is called the app shelf. And it's a way for you to work with different windows inside several apps, like Safari has a shelf. But this is the shelf that's located in Mail. If I want to get rid of the shelf, I don't want to see it, if I just tap anywhere outside of that area, you'll see that the shelf disappears, but it's still there. If I tap on these double windows or double squares, if I tap on that, you'll see that the shelf comes back. This is the window that's activated. You can kind of see it's grayer in color. If I want to get rid of any of these other windows, if I'm finished with them, if I just swipe them away to the top of the screen, that closes the window. The only window you can't close is the one that's activated. So to close that, you would have to go to a different window and then swipe that window away. But that's called the Mail shelf. It's the app shelf. So if you need to use different things or different windows so that you can see different emails at different times. So if I hit this plus sign and just tap on another email, you'll see that the shelf goes away and highlights that email, but if I tap on it again, the app shelf comes back. And so now this window is highlighted. So it's just a way to work inside of different windows and be more efficient. Question number 8. With the Health app coming to iOS 17, does this mean I'll be able to use my Apple Watch without an iPhone? That would be great, but no. So even though the Health app is coming to iOS 17 and you'll be able to take advantage of it if you just have an iPad by entering information and that type of thing, if the iPad doesn't have the Watch app, then there's no way to connect the watch to the iPad. So you're still better off having an iPhone if you're using the Apple Watch. But hopefully, maybe Apple someday will put the Watch app onto the iPad. I think that would be a great idea because a lot of people have iPads but don't necessarily have an iPhone. Question number 9. I can't seem to use my cellular data when I'm out and about. I have to rely on Wi-Fi, which isn't always available. How can I fix this problem? So let's come back to the overhead shot again. So if you're having difficulty accessing your cellular data, like you can't get to websites, so I'm going to just swipe down to come into the control center, and I'm going to turn off cellular and I'm going to turn off Wi-Fi so that you can see what I mean. And then if I open an app, you'll see that it tells me that the cellular data is turned off, and it lets me know that so I can turn it back on. But if I refresh that page, you're going to get an option that says Safari can't open the page because your phone is not connected to the internet. So if you're seeing this on your Safari browser and you can't access any websites, what you need to do is swipe down again, just check to be sure that cellular is turned on. And then if you come back in and you're still getting this signal, if you're still seeing this when you try to access, come back in, toggle off airplane mode or toggle on airplane mode. Leave it on for just a few seconds and then turn it off. When you do that, it sends a signal to the cellular tower that, because you might be connected to a tower further away than where you are, and maybe it's just not making a good connection. And so by toggling airplane mode on and off, your phone will connect to the closest tower. And then you may be able to come back in and access the website. If you're still having problem, then your next best option is to come in to the Settings app, open up cellular, check to see if data roaming is on. Most cellular plans allow you to roam a little bit to use data, but if you're concerned about that, then don't do that. Go ahead and keep that toggled off. And then the last option that you can try if you're still having trouble is rebooting your phone. Sometimes that's all it takes. And you can reboot your phone really easily now using Siri. All I have to do is say, "Hey Siri, restart my iPhone."
Just to confirm, you want to restart this device.
And then you would go ahead and tap on restart and your phone would be restarted. So, Siri makes it really easy to do some of those things that before, you had to push the volume up button, then you push the volume down button, and then you had to hold the side button until the phone powered back up again. This is an easy way. Just ask Siri to do it. And in iOS 17, you're not even going to have to say the hey part of it. You're just going to be able to say Siri, and Siri's going to turn on and help you out. Question number 10. Why are all my pics showing up in my brother's photos? I don't want to share those with him. So the only reason your brother has those photos is because you shared with him. So let me show you what I mean by that. So if I come into the Photos app, and highlight For You at the bottom of the page, make sure that's highlighted, you're going to see this section that says Shared with You. And these are all photos that were shared with you via text message. So, and you obviously, you can see that I saved these. You can see a save check mark next to them. So when somebody sends you a photo through the Messages app, you have the opportunity to save that photo. And when you do, it's added to your photos library. So if you don't want somebody to have the photo, don't share it with them, because once you do, they can add that to their photo library. Question number 11. Is there a way to permanently get rid of the email signature sent from my iPad? Yes. So let's go ahead and come over to the iPad. And if I open up, let me open up Mail first. So if I open up Mail, and I'm just going to tap on this email, you're going to see that it says Sent from my iPad, and that's the default signature, but you can change that. So I'm going to swipe out of Mail, and I'm going to come back into the Settings app, and this will work the same way on your iPad as well as your iPhone. So you will get to this option exactly the same way. So we came into Settings. We're going to scroll down and we're going to tap on Mail. We're going to scroll down until we see Signature and tap on that. As you can see, I have 4 different email set up here in my iPad. So there are 4 different signatures, or there can be 4 different signatures. You could also just tap on All Accounts, and you could put in one signature for all accounts. But if you want different signatures for different email accounts, tap on Per Account, and then all you have to do is erase this. And if I want this to be Ellen Sweeney, I can just type that in. And now when I come back out and I go back into Signature, my iCloud signature will be Ellen Sweeney. My Ellen's Tips will be Ellen's Tips, and I could change my Gmail as well as my courses. So that's an easy way to set up a signature on your iPad for different email accounts. And the last question, I signed up for a subscription to an app. How do I cancel the subscription? So let's come back into the iPhone, and I'm just going to put a privacy filter up. And so here, this time, we are going to come in and we are going to tap on the App Store. So let me just search for it. So here's the App Store. I'm going to open that up. I'm going to tap on my profile picture in the upper right corner. I'm going to tap on Subscriptions. And then you'll see a list of any of the subscriptions that you've purchased through the App Store. If you've purchased them somewhere else, you're not going to see them there. But if you purchase them through the App Store, this is where you find them. And to cancel them, you'll just click on one. You'll tap cancel subscription. It'll probably ask you to confirm it. You'll confirm it. And then what happens is you will still have access to that subscription until the end of the time. So if it's a monthly subscription, it'll be till the end of the month. If it's a yearly, it'll give you the date that it's going to renew. So this one is going to renew on June 30th. So that's how to cancel a subscription. So let me get rid of that. There you go. So anyway, that's all the questions that I have, unless you guys have any questions. Pat, you live in Carnegie? Very interesting. I live in Scott Township, so not too far from you, really. Just on the road. Any other questions that I can answer for anybody? Well, I appreciate you being here. Like I said, in about a half hour, I'll have a replay. The replay will be available immediately, but in about a half hour, I'll have the chapter markings in, and you'll be able to go back and find the question if if I was too fast, or you'll be able to locate the question and see the answer. Well, thanks so much for joining me, everybody. I hope you're getting as much value out of this as I get from all of you. Sharon, you're welcome. I'm so glad that you guys show up and I get to do this. This is really fun for me. So if I can help anybody out, let me know. Just remember, you can always send me an email and I will answer you almost immediately or as quickly as possible. I'm happy to help out. And that way, if you send me a question, I'll answer you right away, and then I'll add that question to the live so that other people can benefit from your question. So you lived in Scott for 20 years. Wow. I have lived here my entire life, except for when I went away to school. So, wow. We're neighbors, Pat. Well, thanks so much again for joining me, everybody. I hope you have a great afternoon and a great evening, and I'll see you next time.